Hello, everybody. Welcome to Still Here, Still Trying. I'm Mike Baker, your host. Listen, I'm so excited about this experience today. We have our first guest, and it happens to be an international guest. All the way from New Zealand, I'm interviewing my son, Cameron Baker. Cameron has an amazing story. He graduated high school, worked for a little bit here in Idaho, and then decided it was time to do what so many of us dream of: take off for the adventure of a lifetime. Cameron connected with an experience in New Zealand where you can live there and work there for a year if you're under 26. So Cameron moved to New Zealand, traveled around the country for a little while, and then he settled in a town called Wellington where he found a job at a really cool restaurant called Kisa, and he is just thriving over there. He's having such a great experience. Listen, as a dad, as parents, we miss the hell out of our kid, right? We miss him, but we're so proud of him. It's so exciting to see life through his eyes and see the beautiful and amazing experiences and challenges and opportunities that he's facing, living life all on his own across the country. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We talk about life, we talk about leadership, we talk about love and family and a little bit of politics. So it's a fun chat. So I hope you enjoy it. Listen, as always, be sure to like, follow, share, leave some questions or comments for Cameron. And we'll get back to him. We'll get back to you on them. So anyway, enjoy the episode. Have a wonderful day. All right, Cameron, how you doing? Thanks for joining Still Here, Still Trying. It's a, inaugural interview, having somebody interviewed on the podcast all the way from New Zealand. That's pretty
Wellington.
cool.
Yeah.
How's it going in New Zealand today?
It's absolutely beautiful day. We're jumping into summer. It's been really nice past couple of weeks. Enjoying the sun.
Enjoying the sun. Like I always
in the wind.
think it's so funny how you're like a day is it 15 hours ahead? So 15 hours ahead or something like that, 19 hours ahead. So he's always coming to us from the future, but haven't been able to give us any winning lottery numbers.
I know, no warnings or anything.
Gotta work on those skills there.
Yeah.
Good. And just rolling into summer. We're just starting winter here. It's like we had daylight savings, and so it's dark when you go to work and dark when you get home, which is just amazing.
Lots of fun.
For the soul.
It's always good.
Yeah, you're just getting some sunshine.
Yeah.
What have you been up to in New Zealand? So you've had a little adventure over the last few weeks, been working and came to visit us. What are you doing? Like, how did you end up in New Zealand? So people we haven't met you yet. So tell me a little bit about your story, how you got over to New Zealand.
Yeah. So I came through the working holiday visa exchange program. So they have a program where you can come down to New Zealand and live and work for a year. And I decided to take advantage of that and been here ever since. The first 2 or 3 months, I just did a big old road trip around the country, saw lots of cool sights. And then I started to settle down in Wellington, which is the capital of New Zealand. Been working in a restaurant called Kisa and just having fun working and meeting new people. It's been really good.
Everybody always asks me, like, why did he pick New Zealand? Like, why? I mean, I kind of know, but you should tell the people, why did you pick New Zealand?
The short answer that I tell everybody here is that I lived in Idaho and I wanted to get out. But the long answer is it is super far away, and that kind of just meant that I would be building everything on my own. And that's kind of what I was looking for, just jump right in, no safety net, and just kind of who I am. It's also beautiful, absolutely gorgeous culture, and people are really nice, and lots of things to do and see. That's the main reason.
That's awesome. Well, and I mean, there's so many people, like when they talk about it, just, how jealous they are that you took advantage of this time in your life when, you had just graduated from high school, you're trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? You talked about traveling to a couple other countries, and then it was just like all of a sudden, hey guys, I'm moving to New Zealand.
I just got a visa.
It was pretty cool. It was such a crazy thing as a parent to see, it's just to watch your kids grow up and then just to go to the other side of the world. I remember, when you were leaving, we were just like, I felt like I had no way to come help you. So my only way to like somehow help in an emergency was
Mm-hmm.
have the
The
Garmin.
Garmin.
Like, okay, at least if the world collapses, he can turn on the Garmin and say, I'm safe. That's
I'm
funny.
safe.
Just as a parent, that's like all I could do. I'm like, all right, you're off to the
Oh,
world. Like, it was crazy,
yeah.
watching you load up on the airplane and just, man, take off and go. It's
Yeah.
quite the
Bag and
adventure.
yeah. No, it's been super fun. And having that no safety net has been both rewarding and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Just knowing that everything I do is my choice and it's my consequences as well. So it's been good.
Well, you've done a great job. It's been fun to
Hmm.
see, just see you find your space there, but also, I mean, as far as he tells us, everybody, he's thriving, right? He's doing a great job,
Yeah.
having a fun time, being a responsible adult out there,
Hmm.
building a life and learning some great skills and just having an adventure. I mean, these are those times that, you just down the road in your life, you're going to look back on and go, holy cow, I did that. And,
Yeah.
it shapes you
Yeah.
and kind of gives you that cultural experience. I went on a mission. And so my cultural
Hmm.
experience was moving from Salt Lake to the Spokane, Washington mission, where I served in Quincy and Umatilla and, little
Hmm.
farm towns and learned Spanish. But it's definitely a different experience than moving across the world and kind of taking it out on your own. Really
Definitely.
proud of you.
And I think there is something to say about that as well. You can do anything. I just chose to go really far. You can move
Yeah.
a couple hours away and have the same experience and meet new people and learn a new language. It's still valuable. Everything is valuable.
Yeah. No, it's so good for you. I mean, I just remember that. I mean, again, the Mormon mission's a lot more structured and, there's definitely a safety net built in, but it was, had to make those active choices to get out of bed and follow the rules and do the
Hmm.
things, and it does teach you how to move into that somewhat adult version of life. Yours is a lot more open, and I mean,
Hmm.
you certainly, there are people that they go on these adventures and they lose themselves, right? And that it didn't improve themselves because
Hmm.
they sort of went a little too crazy, but
Hmm.
they come back and find that balance. But it's been really fun to watch you, really learn new skills, work at the restaurant. I mean, hear the
Hmm.
stories about, just all of the things you're learning and that passion that you have for service. And I think we saw that in you as you were, working at Sushi Eye and,
Yeah.
all the other restaurants. And it's pretty cool to watch you, as a parent walk into the restaurant and hear your kid just like running the restaurant. And I never
Hmm.
forget the time you're like, had to work with that older gentleman that was working with you and you're just like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Such a
And
different experience.
yeah, definitely. That experience I do definitely look back on and I'm like, oh, I could definitely have handled that better now with all the skills that I've learned. And it definitely taught me how to deal with some interesting people.
And well,
Yeah.
how's distance changed the way that you see home, family, and what matters? How's that kind of shaped you and kind of that perspective?
Yeah, I think it obviously has definitely changed since I've been, or I'll rephrase this, since I was back home, I kind of realized that I took a lot for granted. My family, my friends, my house, my groceries. And moving here has made me realize that love it spans across the oceans. I still feel loved by you guys. I still message my friends. I still see people. And the distance doesn't really affect it as long as you don't let it. Just truly, you see who actually does care about you and wants to see you and reach out. And it's been good. It's been good.
I remember like when we moved up here to Idaho from Salt Lake, and then the experience that we had with my parents when they would come up to visit us, right? I mean, when
Hmm.
we were in Utah, we'd go over to their house like for Sunday dinners, and everybody would just sort of spread out and go play. And we were at Grandma and Grandpa's house, but we
Hmm.
weren't necessarily having that one-on-one time,
Yeah.
building those experiences. And I think you guys got really close to my mom before she passed away, and my dad, they would come up and they would just enter our lives versus us
Hmm.
being part of the mix in Utah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely creates a different scenario. I know when you came home, this summer, it was just like, I mean, I love having you home.
Hmm.
Having your mom just describe, the feeling of like, all my kids are here and we're having that experience. And then just
Yeah.
watching you like you matured, and not that like you were a punk kid, but like you
I
matured in a
was.
different space where it was like, okay, like you make amazing meals and your attention to detail on things, just as simple as
Hmm.
making a sandwich or eggs or, whatever it is
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, I'm going to throw this on it and make it great. And I'm just over here like, here's some mayo and some turkey and mustard and some cheese, kind of
and
good.
it
And
works.
you're just like looking down on me like, these guys, they don't know.
Simpleton.
But it's really fun. I mean, I think it pulls that stuff out of you. What do you think? What's
Definitely.
something that you've learned about independence that has surprised you? I mean, what's been surprising if you've kind of been on your own and had to figure stuff out?
Yeah, it's both the most difficult and easiest thing that I've learned to deal with. I feel like as a teenager, I was always striving to be very independent and not rely on anyone for anything. And then that did kind of prepare me here, but actually knowing that I was fully like I could just leave. Like I can leave the house at 3 in the morning, and
Yeah.
and learning to still put bounds on that and create rules for myself. And that's been surprising because I'm a big fan of breaking rules.
Yeah, I
That
think you
I
got
do
that
need
from your
those.
mom, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely your mom's side of the family. No, it is. It's so funny. I mean, again, as parents, like you watch your kids and I mean, you're a good kid, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all of us have our things we do, and there are those moments where we're just like, "What the? Come on!"
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of growing up and being that. But when you get out on your own and you realize, okay, I can choose this or that, and yeah,
Hmm.
maybe this gets me this little temporary experience for a minute, but that's just that sustainable life, right? Like just getting
Yeah.
in and like really building something that matters. I mean, it's so fun hearing you talk about, your experience learning about new wines and learning
Hmm.
how to be a manager. And I mean, I don't know, for those of you guys who don't know, like when Cameron came home, he made us like incredible drinks, right? So he's been a bartender at his own New Zealand. You can drink at 18.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that experience a little bit. I think it's so fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, it's been so interesting because obviously back home I can't really drink. I still can't drink. And coming here and talking to people who have been able to drink and are the same age as me and already know so much more it was challenging. I'm like, oh crap, I need to catch up. So I got behind the bar at the restaurant that I'm at and kind of just dove headfirst into there. One of my coworkers, he taught me a lot about bartending and stuff and just the basic principles. And that led me to learning about wine, which I like that was kind of my in at my workplace. I wanted to set myself apart by getting a lot of wine knowledge because that was kind of a weak point in order to get a work visa through my job. And I kind of just fell in love with all of it, learning about just the culture and the history and how long and how much, like how deep that ocean of knowledge is in that realm. Just super interesting. I could hop on a soapbox for a couple hours talking about just wine in general, but it's been super cool. It's been another just thing that I've been able to delve deep into.
Oh, it's really fun. I mean, and let's talk about your mom here. So, your mom, I mean, she didn't really like wine, right? And what happened when she went to New Zealand? What did you do?
Well, we went wine tasting and I showed her that people, like if you say you don't like wine, that I always say, if you say you don't like wine, you just haven't tried enough wine because there's something out there for somebody, whether or not I actually changed her mind.
Oh,
Uh,
I mean,
she does drink it
she's bought
occasionally.
a couple of her own bottles now, so I think
Yeah.
that's pretty
Wow.
awesome. So,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was so
She's
funny. I
changing her
mean,
mind.
as we try stuff, over the years, I mean, my favorite thing was just to watch your mom make that face every time. I'm like,
Hmm.
you'll like this one. It'll be fine. And she just makes
Yeah.
this terrible face. Like it's so funny. And then, she comes home and she's like, oh my gosh, I found this one. It's really good. And then, yeah,
Hmm.
like she's finding her path. It's really funny. But I think there's such a cultural thing that's tied to wine. I mean,
Yeah.
even, just having a good cocktail and stuff, but that cultural experience, you've been part of some wine clubs. I'm going to make the
Yeah.
contrast. So when you came back, you went to one of the wine stores here
Uh-huh.
and the guy was just like blown away that there's this kid, right? Like
Hmm.
air quotes, this
Air
kid, right?
quotes.
He's coming into the wine shop and you picked out some really good wines, but you had to call me and say, Dad, you have to go pick up these wines at the store because I can't actually buy them. But he was so impressed, right? He's like, if you ever want
Hmm.
a job, you come work here. Let's go. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's such a cool thing to see. But talk to me about that cultural experience that you've seen, with wine in New Zealand and kind of how that's
Yeah.
rolled into your life.
I mean, humans have been getting effed up for ages now. Just alcohol it's like made in ancient Mesopotamia. And at that point, it was basically beer and wine were the same thing. And obviously, Romans got into it and just spread all across the world. And being able to see how different climates and attitudes towards wine affect the final taste and the final product is super interesting. Because so here in New Zealand, there's a bigger growing movement towards it's called biodynamics, which is the idea that the vineyard is a closed ecosystem, that the bird that flies by, that the bee that lands on that grape is a part of that wine. And so you need to take every precaution to ensure that there's no pesticides, no, there's no herbicides. You aren't just killing off the pests, and you're doing that in a natural way to still produce a good final quality product, but also help the earth at the same time, which is interesting because New Zealand has such a long, rich history of caring for their environment, especially with like the native people Maori and taking those ideas from that culture and having it work to create
Really nice wine and
really nice
beautiful
wine.
place to live, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've talked about the pride that people have about their community and the culture inside New Zealand. Your brother Jacob, when he came home, he said he's never had a better hug than a Maori hug. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's just like there's just this genuineness to the human experience there through that Maori culture that's kind of floated through. I mean, that's so powerful. I mean, you've been part of the process. Like I'm really working on this whole just life's about connection and the
Mm-hmm.
human first and all these things there. I mean, I think it's so central to who we are as people to want to feel connected. And I think
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about like sort of the outside lens into our country right now. It feels so divided. It just feels so
Mm-hmm.
divided and pointless. Like why I always think about like why are we having all these fights over this manufactured rage where it's like everyone's stirring
Yeah.
us up to hate each other. But when you look in, it probably just looks so childish and stupid. I don't know. What do the New Zealanders think of our experience right now?
It definitely does look childish and stupid from the outside as well, as much as it does from the inside.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody asks me like, "Oh, where's your accent from?" Because I have an accent here. I decide whether or not I want to talk about politics in that moment.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll say Canadian, and then most of
Okay.
the times I'll say I'm from the U.S. I'm from Idaho, and they go, "Oh, rough." Yeah, it is a bit, but most of the time, like people are always supportive, and they aren't like, "Screw you, you American," you know.
Right.
People are just genuinely curious to get that inside perspective on it. They're like, "Oh, so like, what do you think about what's going on? Like, is your state like more red or more blue? You know, is daily life as bad as it actually seems?" And
Hmm.
I always say, "No, not really. Like, people are nice, people are kind. Just when they get pushed to the outside, that loud minority is just terrifying. It's hurting people."
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
just like, I mean, it breaks my heart watching, what's happening at that space, right? I mean, when I think I've talked about it in a couple episodes lately, like when I went to Vegas for that conference, and I went out that night and just walked along the strip, and people weren't just yelling and screaming and fighting like Trump this
Hmm.
and Biden that and blah blah. Like that wasn't it. Like the human experience is alive and well. Like we're thriving, we're doing
Yeah.
really good. When you turn on your phone, when you're on social media, that's when it seems to kick in. It's like these tools are just coming at us. The algorithm doesn't want us. I don't know, like feels like it just
Yeah,
doesn't want us to be happy. It wants us to keep us
you
divided
are
because that is so addicting to our
exactly.
brains to stay in that fight or flight mode and find the enemy, out there. It's
Yeah. What's his
so
name?
sad.
John Stewart, Daily Show, the new
Hmm.
Daily Show guy. He had an interesting like, thing to say about social media. It was like your brain is fighting this team of scientists that are learning about every part of your lizard
Hmm.
brain to keep you staring at a screen for 8 hours a day. So no wonder like it's hard to get off social media. It's hard to get out of that negative echo chamber of terrible news because you either feel bad for being in or feel bad about what's happening, or you feel bad about not being informed about what's going on in the world. You get flack from either side. You learn too much and you're a downer in every
Yeah.
conversation that you have, or you don't know anything and you're aloof and privileged for not knowing anything. Which is both sides have something to say, but it's not ideal.
No, it's not. It's like, we're living on those edges. What are you, I mean, do you feel like social media is as prevalent in New Zealand as it is? I mean, has it sort of invaded every space across
Yeah,
the globe at this point? Or, I mean, do you
I
feel like
mean,
there's a little,
definitely.
yeah,
I mean, I think anywhere where people have phones, they have TikTok or Instagram. And therefore they're getting all of that news. And because TikTok and Instagram is dominated by American media, and American media is our largest export, everybody knows about what's happening in the US. Just pretty interesting. Like we are the most widely known about country. You don't you never heard about what's happening in Sudan
yeah,
right now with their civil war and genocide. Like, but you do know about the ICE agents and the school shootings and
right.
all of that stuff.
Yeah, because every country's dealing with, something. I mean, it's the human
Yeah.
experience and something's going on. You know, we hear about it because, I mean, I think it was, say Trump says something and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Wow, we got to go deal with
Yeah.
this." It's like, then it's, the power of the voice, whether that's, used for good or evil, and there's that power of the leader. And I think it's for me, looking at younger generations, I mean, I think we're all begging, like, come save us. I think we really screwed things up and,
Hmm.
allowed all of these things to kind of come in and take over. And I think I see it, and when I talk to you and I talk to other people, it's like you're looking up at this older generation. I think we used to look up with respect. And I think
Hmm.
it's a lot easier to just go, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah.
What are we, how did this happen? My grandpa fought in World War II, right? I mean, and
Hmm.
you hear all of the veterans that are like, look, I did all of this, we sacrificed for this, and then all of a sudden we're back into this space and we're having these
Hmm.
conversations where freedom of speech seems to be challenged. And I mean, all of these other things that are happening. And then just across the globe, everybody's so focused on what's happening here. And then, I mean, New Zealand is always trying to find its space. And, you know,
Hmm.
you talked to kind of about the Maori stuff that was going on and just everybody trying to shape that space when the world is just coming down on us all the time. It's
Definitely. It is tough. You did
mhm,
used to look up with them with respect because they built you a good life. And I think we do still have that for some degree. Like I love grandpa. I love all my grandparents, but knowing that they were alive when all of these things began to get set in motion during
mhm,
uh the Reagan era and all of the old crap that he's done. Like it's kind of hard knowing that they could have started to put an end to all these like billionaire oligarchs polluting the oceans and stuff, but
mhm. No, it's
we're also in the same position. We can't
right.
do that much
One that,
besides
yeah, I think
this.
that's where we get, like how, and I think this is the global conversation. Like, how do we get people to wake up and, find the balance in all these things, right? Like generating revenue is a good thing, doing it on the backs of every single human on the planet and that inequity that comes out of it, right? And,
Hmm.
I love, so there's, I think I forwarded you that book, Abundance with Ezra Klein, right? And
Yeah.
when you get a second, check it out. But I love the first 20 minutes. He describes the future of what the future could look like if we all pulled our heads out of our asses and like
Hmm.
stopped hating each other and looked at the future and put the energy into, wow, imagine, Earth is just abundant clean energy and got, all of these things in place that make sense. Instead, we spend all of our time working on that scarcity mindset
Hmm.
and like hoarding things and this is for me versus
Yeah.
how do we build and create something more powerful than we've ever imagined. And I mean, I think
Yeah,
those thought
exactly.
experiments are so amazing, to kind of go through that.
Yeah, it definitely is. I like it. We have always had enough food to feed everybody on Earth,
Right.
and the fact that we don't is just terrible, just heinous. That people have enough money to change everything in the world, and they don't. The old Uncle Ben quote: "Great power comes great responsibility." I wish that
Absolutely.
was true.
Wish that was true. I know.
I wish that it was a law.
Yeah, I was watching something the other day about, these countries in Africa and they're starving and they're making, mud cakes. And I mean, it's just like eating dirt to survive. And we're over here throwing stuff away all the time.
Yeah.
It was early experience for me, our elementary school when I think it was second or third grade. It was when the famines in Ethiopia were happening, and
Hmm.
We Are the World came out. I mean, there's big moments, and remember, doing food drives and everybody's bringing soup and cans and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And, it's like, okay, we collectively came together. And I don't know that the soup cans that we brought to Emerson Elementary ever actually made it to Ethiopia. But that was the experience that we were all trying to work on, was like, okay, here's a
Hmm.
problem. Let's do that. And that collective global energy that I think that came out of the song, We Are the World, it was so powerful. I think we've had these moments in history where for just a minute we wake up and realize, okay, I can do something, and
Hmm.
bring that together. I think it's a superpower that we need to find again, as we go
Yeah,
through that. So,
definitely.
um, well, you've been working hard, like in your new job. So you
Hmm.
became a manager, kind of walking in down that road around leadership. But what does leadership mean to you now in your work and friendships or in the community? Like, how do you think about leadership as you've had a little more experience around that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still obviously very, very new to the position and leadership in general. Like, I've not been in many of these roles, but like, it truly is just exemplifying what you're trying to get other people to do. Like, you aren't going to be listened to if you don't work hard, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, and people are going to talk behind your back and say, why would I want to do something when they're not doing it? And I think that really is the core of it. It's just showing that what you are asking of people is possible, and you should always be the first person to do it.
I love that.
And
When you
spend.
were growing up with your friend groups, I don't know that people always think that they're leaders, right? I mean,
Hmm.
we're all either in these spaces where we're leading or following. When you look back at that time growing up, how does your leadership lens help you understand or make sense of some of that growing up?
Man, I think it's, yeah. I mean, thinking back, I didn't think that I was ever really the main person in the friend group or anything like that. And whoever I would look up to in that group definitely didn't think they were that.
Hmm.
And so I think that says a lot that people do think of you very differently than you think of yourself, especially when you are a leader. I mean, I imagine you go through this quite a lot at work with people creating their own perceptions of you in their minds that, like, and that's hard to reconcile who you actually are and who
Right.
what these people think you are. And obviously, I haven't had to go through that much given my tiny team and the one shift that I do a week where I am managing people and telling people what to do. So people know me for me and they know that I'm a hard worker. So
Yeah.
when you're moving up, you don't even know the people that you're leading. It's much more difficult.
No, it is interesting. It's just that mantle. I mean, there's always that extra weight that comes on with leadership. I remember you talking about one of your first days. I don't know, it's your first shift or one of the first shifts, and you were like, I had some ideas of some things I wanted to do, and then I they kind of just did them without letting me have that experience of skinning my knee, right? So as like
Hmm.
for leaders within our organization, right? I want to set people up in a safe space to. I mean, you have to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time as a leader,
Hmm.
and my mistakes can have more magnitude and impact, but I'm still learning and growing. But like, I think this whole experience of building leadership skills is you have to get out there and you have to try things and make some mistakes and learn from them, because that's how you get that experience. It'd be lovely if everything was just perfect all the time,
Yeah.
but we're working with humans. We're working with imperfect
Hmm.
people in I describe the healthcare system, right? The healthcare system demands perfection, but there's no way we can ever deliver that. Like, we're imperfect
Hmm.
people and the system is terrible. As you walk through it and you look at the many different hands that anything in the restaurant industry has to go through to get to you to eat and
Hmm.
have you have that aha experience like, holy cow, this is the best food I've ever had. So many things have to go right in that. And it can be
Yeah,
the best food, but you could have a waiter that, forgets to fill your water or it takes an hour to get
exactly.
there. And like it's so many things get there. How have you, when you've had something go wrong in your leadership experience, how do you handle that? What's your advice to somebody that's young, kind of growing in leadership?
Hmm.
What's your advice to somebody out there?
I mean, obviously, number one, everybody makes mistakes. Like it's impossible not to. But in my place of work, like I always go over personally and I say like, hey, truly isn't up to our standards. Like we're gonna give it to you on the house X, Y, and Z. But as a person, I think I like to put a lot of myself into my work. And so when things go wrong, it feels like a personal thing,
Right.
like something that I did, even when it's not my fault at all. And so learning to detach yourself enough from that idea to not feel down on yourself anytime you leave work, but also keep that standard of excellence that you want to maintain at work is ideal. Then people will follow you. People will try and
Mhm.
exemplify that in themselves.
Yeah, it's that staying humble, in the process and just I think always remembering that like there's another human on the other side of this. And when I'm
Hmm.
mad, like if I lose my shit on somebody because, they're my hamburger was not cooked to my standard, but like I mean, you just look at it
Yeah.
and go, is it really worth destroying somebody's life over this? I mean, you kind of have that experience. Or, on the other side of it, it's like, okay, I really understand. Like you came in here, you expected
Hmm.
an amazing meal, and we let you down. And I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's funny how hard it
Exactly.
is for people to actually use those words and have it be genuine. I'm
Hmm.
so sorry that that was not the experience that you expected. We let you down. Not, I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you think we were bad.
Yeah.
There's that
Exactly. Yeah.
genuine apology. Like, I'm really sorry. How can we make this up to you?
Hmm.
We're gonna walk through this. Like, you should expect better, and we're gonna get better. And when you give
Exactly.
us feedback, it was so goofy when we were in St. Thomas a couple weeks ago with Amy. We went down to the restaurant and we ordered a couple drinks, just for dinner, and the drinks were terrible. I mean,
Hmm.
they were just bad. It was like an old fashioned that tasted like cheap whiskey that I mean, it was supposed to be like this bacon, vanilla bean, beautiful old fashioned, and it was just like
Yeah.
watered down, gross whiskey. And then your mom had a drink, and it was just like had zero flavor. It was weird. Amy's drink was bad, and I don't normally. It's rare that I will ever say anything. And the guy
Yeah.
came out. He's like, how was your meal? How was everything?" And I said, "Listen, like I had ordered some Korean fried chicken wings, like kind of like the
Hmm.
KFC you got at Sushi Eye. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. They were so good. But I'm like, honestly, these drinks were just bad. I mean, just something's wrong with them. I don't know if it's a bad night. I don't know
Hmm.
what's going on, but these, like, all of us just struggled to get through these drinks. They weren't good. And, I mean, the guy was like, oh my gosh. Again, he takes that, like, oh, I'm a
Yeah.
loser. I'm so sorry. Like, he's coming in on himself. I'm like, listen, it's okay. Like, not every day is a
Yeah.
winner. Like, I'm not gonna
Hmm.
like hate you guys. We're gonna come back.
Yeah.
And then the other manager came out a few minutes later. Hey, we're so sorry we let you guys down. Come back. We'll make drinks. We'll fix
Hmm.
it. And I mean, it was a great way to handle the situation, but it was so awkward for me. I'm like, I would have rather just drank the drinks or walked away,
Yeah.
not said
Yeah.
anything. But it was just one of those nights where I'm like, look,
Hmm.
I'm gonna pay $70 for drinks that nobody drink. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes, yeah, you say something, but
And
it's also
yeah.
awkward. Yeah.
And that's why I also appreciate when people do say, like, oh, I actually didn't like that very much, because that gives us an opportunity to do better and make sure they don't just silently never come back. We make sure that that experience is 110% good. They'll want to come back and they'll tell their friends, like, I didn't like my fish, but they did X, Y, and Z about it. And now I come back any day of the week. Giving people an opportunity to make things right is always good.
Yep. Well, one of the things I've loved about just hearing you talk about the restaurant industry and the work that you do is just that cultural experience that's tied
Hmm.
to food and building teams. So you've talked about Kisa as this, destination place. So people come and celebrate special moments. And what a cool thing when people trust you to provide that experience. But as you're working in the, the restaurant industry and you've got this space, so I mean, millions of people are going to watch this episode, right?
Yeah.
Because this is
Yeah,
just
totally.
powerful. So you have this chance to talk to, 18 to 25-year-olds that are like stuck out of high school trying to figure it
Hmm.
out. What's the best advice you'd have for somebody that was thinking about going on an adventure?
I'd say do it. Totally. I mean, if you have the means and the opportunity to do it, I don't think it's ever really a bad thing as long as you are learning.
Say hi to your roommate, introduce
Jeff, do you
him.
want
I
to
mean,
say
let's
hi?
get him on here. That's right.
Yeah. This is Jeff, my
How's it
roommate.
going, Jeff?
He was
Good to
laughing
see
at
you.
the flatmate.
That's
Oh yeah.
right. That's right, flatmate. We got to say it right over here.
Yeah.
That's right. You're,
I
on
bought
the.
some hand soap with a reindeer on it for the festive Christmas season.
Oh, did you? That's awesome. That's great.
All good.
Well, good. So you would just say, "Hey, get out there, go do it, take the
Yeah.
adventure." You actually worked really hard to get there, though.
Hmm.
I mean, you worked
And yeah,
really,
the
really hard. You saved some money up.
last
Talk about that
two
experience a little
years
bit,
were,
because it's not like you can just drop everything and go. You
yeah.
kind of had a plan. Talk about that a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely did. So the last 2 years of high school, I did our dual enrollment program, which meant that I was getting my associate's degree at the same time as my high school degree, which really gave me 2 years ahead of most of my peers to kind of figure out what I wanted to do before I went back to college. And so doing high school, college, and on top of that, working basically full time, it was hard. It was uh, a lot of work, but definitely worth it. Uh, Especially when I finally had that um, moment where I got to New Zealand. I'm like, oh wait, so this is what I've been working
This is
towards. This is
happening,
great.
right?
This is
Yeah.
awesome. And I didn't really have that goal for until like 2 months before I left. But yeah, just finding something to work towards and actually achieving it is fulfilling.
That's
Definitely.
that's so cool. I mean, it's fun to watch you, set a goal and crush it. And then I think, aside from your amazing parents who shaped your life, you've had lots of
Which
other
you
people
did.
that have been really influential on your life. We
Hmm.
talked about, Matt, so mentoring you and working with you, and I think you mentoring him, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's a two-way street, but isn't it like, I think it's really cool as a parent, right? Have someone else out there looking after your kids and giving them experiences like that was
Hmm.
amazing. But talk about that
Hmm.
experience working at Sushi Eye, and I mean the
Yeah.
great restaurant, right? So I mean, if you were
Yeah.
in Coeur d'Alene, you should come to Sushi Eye,
Go to
right?
Sushi Eye.
You got to
Yeah,
give a shout out
definitely.
to your Sushi Eye squad.
Yeah, no, Sushi Eye was great. It was like my first exposure to actually serving people and being on the front end and being responsible for everything that was going on, which was really, really educating to say the least. I learned how to take care of inventory. I learned how to reduce friction between people and clean and come in on Thanksgiving morning and sand the wooden rail. Um, and just find passion for my work that I was doing, which was really good. I mean, Matt helped me out. He gave me the room to actually do it. Like, I remember that he wasn't very sure about hiring me. And then one of the cooks that I had worked with previously came out and said, hire that guy. And I was like, oh, nice. I have my way in. I need to like prove myself. And he let me do it. So it was
Oh,
good.
it's really cool. I want to, like, one of the things I love. So culture is so important, and you've talked about it at your restaurant in New
Hmm.
Zealand too. But I loved how Matt built a family, right? I mean, he worked really
Hmm.
hard. They did, feasts once a week
Hmm.
and brought people together, and you guys did lots of fun things together,
Hmm.
in the workplace and, college and everything like out there. I think, people in your space finding ways to be part of a culture and making it better, right? I mean, that seems to be so much more productive than those people that just show up and complain about everything and destroy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, we have to work, but so why don't we find something we love and have fun with it versus
Hmm.
like, dude, I'm gonna go be miserable all day.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I think having people that you look forward to seeing at work is half of the fun. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I like Kisa. just the people there, lots of fun. They are my friends more than anything else.
Yeah, we spend so
Yeah.
much time with the people at work, and it is just it's family, and you might as well
Hmm.
have it make sense. Um, we'll start wrapping up here. We got to do a couple things here. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we all miss you. We love you. One of the
Love you.
questions
Miss
was
you.
what what you hope the next few years will hold. You coming back? Are you gonna come back
Hmm.
to the States?
Well, we'll
I'm
see.
just kidding.
We'll see. I'm not entirely sure. Like I would like to delve a bit deeper into the manufacturing side of wine. So I could come back and work, do a harvest in the US or do a harvest over in Australia. Could be pretty fun.
Be
Do
very
a
fun.
working holiday visa there and kind of do the same thing that I've done here in New Zealand. Or maybe I go back to college next year and study business or something and get a degree, go down that route. Right now, I'm just kind of waiting for a door to open or
Waiting.
a clear path, and I'll
That's
take it
good.
when I get there.
Oh, it's so fun to see it. What's one daily ritual or habit that kind of keeps you grounded? I mean, you're away, you know, I mean, what's one thing that you're doing to just kind of keep yourself grounded? You know, I imagine you get homesick every once in a while. I
Hmm.
remember feeling homesick. But
Yes.
what are some things that you do to just kind of keep self grounded and on track for, those small daily goals and the big things that you're working toward?
Every Monday, I go over to a friend's house and we have dinner and we watch a movie and play Trivial Pursuit from the 1980s. So the questions are about just pop culture
That's
from
so
the
funny.
1950s. We never get through a game, but that's always something that I look forward to every week, along with bouldering. That's been really fun. I've made a couple of friends through there, and uh, yeah, just finding things to do because I have to remember that I'm still kind of on vacation.
That's true. Such a beautiful place.
Hmm.
Well, if somebody was going to plan a trip to New Zealand, obviously they're
Hmm.
going to come to Wellington and go to Kisa,
Yeah,
right? I
definitely.
mean, of course, that's the whole reason you'd go on a trip.
Hmm.
Probably the most beautiful thing you've seen so far in New Zealand? Where's your favorite spot?
It is this place in Nelson, New Zealand. So it's very tippy top of the South Island. About an hour's drive away from there, there's this river, this little river walk that you can do, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Has like freshest air that you've ever smelled, and the bluest water, and it's just still and quiet, and absolutely beautiful. I can't remember the exact name of the walk, so I'm gonna keep it to myself. But
I was gonna say that's how
that's
you
it's
keep it
real
to
good.
yourself. That's good. So there's beautiful places out there.
Oh, all over.
Is there anything you want to say to your mom and sister that might watch this, or friends and family?
Hmm.
What's your words of wisdom from New Zealand for the people in your family and closest to you, your friends?
I think for the main part, it's that I love you. And that I think you think about everybody a lot more than I text everybody. That's something that I need to work on or recall. Think about Sammy a lot more. Hope she's doing well and doing everything that she can. Yeah, just know that I miss everybody.
That's good. We miss you too. We love you. It's
Hmm.
so fun just watching you thrive, and can't wait to get over there. We're working on the trip. Hopefully that's first part of
Hmm.
the year. Get over there and just see the beauty. Your mom loved it. Amy loved it. Amy's already fighting to
Hmm.
go on the trip
I
with
know.
us again. She's pretty cool.
Better. She better.
It's so fun watching your mom and Amy just banter back and forth and have so much fun. Yeah, can't wait to get over there and see you. We've got some good plans coming up with some family trips and making it happen.
Hmm.
But super proud of you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being on, like, the first
Of course.
guest on
I'm
Still Here, Still
glad to
Trying,
be
the
the
world
first one.
famous international podcast.
Yeah,
All right. I mean,
international.
this is a big deal. It's a lot of fun. And thanks for humoring
Yeah,
me. Thanks, you're
of
so supportive.
course.
It's fun to hear, your thoughts on these things. And you just,
Hmm.
even coming back to, kids to parents, like you encourage me, to try to be better and experience things. Some of the, like, the music that I was working on. I mean, the first little bit, you're
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do, Dad. You're kind of a loser. And then just, I think as the tools get better and as you walk through it, like
Mhm.
it's fun to find things every once in a while that just connect with people. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that support. And I'm so
No, I
proud of you, Cameron. I know everyone in this vast millions of listeners audience of
they'll
of Still Here
appreciate it as
Trying, they're
well.
all rooting you on. They want to come visit you at Pisa. We're gonna sell the restaurant out one night and have a Still Here
Let's do it.
Still Trying night at Pisa in New Zealand. But it's
All right.
great talking to you. We'll wrap this up. I know you got to get out and
Mhm.
go do big things with your day. And
Exactly.
your mom and Sam just went to bed over here, so I got to
Oh, man.
go say goodnight to those guys. But
Yeah.
love you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for being on
I
here. And
love you.
we do need to get to our spot of Barely
Yeah.
Legal Wine.
I'm on Barely Legal Wine. I
A
know.
couple minutes.
We'll get there.
Teaser coming up. You just shoot a
Mhm.
video like, hello, here's this beautiful bottle of wine. It pairs well with peanut butter sandwiches.
Yes.
It'll be great. You keep up with our
Yeah.
high class clientele here with Still Here,
I
Still
know.
Trying our peanut butter
I think
sandwiches
it's
and
mainly
wine.
me.
That's perfect. All right. Well, I love you.
All
Thanks
right.
for being on
I love
tonight,
you
Cameron.
too.
Have a great day.
I will. Bye.
See you, bud. All right, I'm going to send you out tonight with a song I wrote for Cameron when he left. The song is called Skyline Bright. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you hear a little bit of that dad voice in there saying, hey, I love you, I miss you, and so proud of you all the way across the world.
You found your way to Wellington, boots on wet concrete, city hum beneath your feet, and something waking up in you. New streets, new light, your name sounds different there, like the wind said, go on now, and you finally heard it clear. Skyline bright, you're on your way. Every step is yours to take. I see the boy I used to hold, turning into something bold. Messages come in pieces, but they mean more than you know. Photos from the harbor with that look that says you've grown. You're laughing in the drizzle with strangers now as friends. I don't know where you're going, but I hope it never ends. I'm sending love from the old front porch, where your name still lives in the air. The door's still cracked, the light stays on, just in case you need us there. Skyline bright, you're on your way. Every step is yours to take. I see the boy I used to hold, turning into something bold. You don't need a map to win. Just trust the sky you're walking in. I'll be here through every climb, cheering for your Wellington time. Skyline bright, you're